Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another live Ragz2Riches TV podcast. I'm your host with the most, King James Unruly. I got in studio today the great entrepreneur, businessman, Farai, business owner, club owner, gig house, and the spin bar. I got to my left, Eri as well, good friend, good colleague, great guy. So today, you know what I mean, we got in studio, we got a couple of good people in studio today. We just want to start off, just with the basic, talk about life today, talk about general settings, how we getting on, with the lockdown, But most of all, I want to base this one on Farai today, just to ask him a couple of questions about, how we got to where he is now, how it's been, what sort of fight he's been through, what the struggle's been like to get where he's at now, because now it's the serious times that we're in. So we all got some plans, we all got ideas, we all got, something that we want to get out there. So first and foremost, Farai, I just want to say thank you today for taking the time out, just to come and show some love, show some respect, come to talk to us today, just tell us a little bit, teach the public a little bit as well about business and about mindset and focus, So today, just first, how has it been like, to, what sort of struggles have you been through to get where you are now, brother? Like, I know it's been hard for us as a, black man. I'm not saying just because of the skin color, but that, generations of the generations will get old fights, Yeah. So for you to own a couple of nightclubs in the UK, like, what was it like,
Hey, let me start off by saying hi to the viewers and thank you for having me. I think the greatest thing is the mindset, I think in today's world, we know how many barriers we have to access, especially from our communities. I think for me, the biggest barrier that I've faced, and I'm sure a lot of people have faced out there, is the knowledge, how to start, where to start, how to prepare yourself before starting, Owning bars has always been a dream, I always thought I would own one bar. I started off as a...
let alone two, that's how
let alone two. I started off as a promoter. This is... Everything I've done up to this point has led to here.
To where you are now, yeah. Basically.
So 15 years in the making, I've worked in...
A lot of struggles,
a long
lot
time,
of stress,
I've worked in McDonald's. I've worked in a garage, and best believe every little job that I've done in the past, I have learnt something that's contributed to
where you are now,
to where I'm at now. And probably the viewers are thinking to themselves, well, what does McDonald's have to do with?
It's gaining the knowledge, isn't it? Gaining the knowledge. So
yeah.
But what sort of setbacks? Like I know, setbacks. So I know, like everybody we got, we try to do something great. You got a few friends or a couple of family members that we say, oh yeah, don't do this, don't do that. But what sort of setbacks have you had to put you in this situation now?
What kept you going as well?
What kept you going?
On top of that, what kept you going?
I think the setbacks are too many to mention.
Just a few.
From our communities, I'm African, so from an African community, they want you to be a doctor. They want you to be a lawyer. They want you to be
architects, and
and I did a very good options. I wanted to play professional basketball. I had an opportunity to do that, but the family wasn't supportive enough. So, you kind of go about and look at different things. And I think along the way, the lack of information, a lot of people don't know this, but I'm sure a few of my friends, Ari, and a few of other people know, I've been scammed £30,000 trying to own a bar, So by the time I got to owning my bar, I was minus 30. Then the initial investment in the bar.
So what sort of mindset, like when you had that loss there, because obviously that's a big loss, 30 grand, You know what I mean? A lot of people are working.
It wasn't even my money.
But that's where the trouble comes in. You know, like when you lost that 30 grand there, what did you thought then? Like,
I think I was fortunate enough that I met people in my life who told me that, you know, losses are a part of everything.
to win.
And you have to go through those steps
to
get to where you want to be. And I think what I've been blessed with is resilience.
Yeah.
I am very resilient, and I think I have my personality is probably something else. You know, I'm fortunate enough that when I go in front of people, people tend to listen.
Yeah.
They might not do whatever I say, but they tend to listen to me.
Something,
yeah.
You help somebody basically just by giving a bit of information.
Yeah.
So,
what I wanted to ask on that one is, for obviously the listeners that are looking to go down your route and actually become an owner, when you got scammed at 30,000, obviously you said it's down to a lack of information. So for someone like, for example, me, I'm watching it, I say, okay, I want to learn and get into the game. What would you give me as advice to avoid getting scammed?
I think, to be honest, the biggest thing is getting contracts in place, right? It's a very small step, and I think where we come from, the streets and everything, your word is your bond, and you tend to take people's word. But the one thing is...
This is what I am business.
It is business, and it goes along with anything that is any financial commitment, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a financial commitment. It can be even a time commitment, which equals to money. But obviously at different stages in life, the value of your time is X, you know?
Such and such,
So I think the big thing is research. Just researching and not being scared to
try something new.
But, you know, we don't like, in our communities, we tend not to like solicitors, we tend not to like the police and stuff like that. But actually, sometimes it's just worth going out to an expert. You know, it could cost you $2,000 to get that advice. But if I had spent that $2,000, I wouldn't have lost 30 grand. You know, and you know, it took a long time to get back to a point where I was able to then get in. And I think the one thing that in our communities we probably don't have the education and the knowledge, credit rating. It's crazy to think that I've used credit rating to get to where I am. So I used a £15,000 credit limit on a credit card with 0% interest for 24 months to be able to buy my position just in this one business.
Just before it goes any further and explains that, for the viewers, you say, so far, the first thing is seek expert advice. So go to solicitors, get whatever you want to do, make sure that the contract is sort of black and white and it tells exactly what you're going to get and protects yourself. And then you say the second thing is learn about credit, because credit rating is very important.
Very
important.
It is,
you know what, because for me, like when you said that, the credit rating, like I've only realized that a couple of years ago, because I've done a few bits like back in the days, like in the early 2000s.
We all have.
Yeah.
We all have.
There was a few bits that got against my name, which I didn't even know about until I tried to apply for a house a couple of years back. And they said, oh yeah, they did a credit check, boom, boom, boom. They said, oh yeah, Mr. Carey, just want to let you know that, okay, you got a CC check against your name. Okay, what? Yeah, you got a county court judgment against your name, okay? So that there, they just shake my nerves up a piece. You understand? Because in my head, I thought, okay, I'm all set, I'm all good.
Yeah.
My credit rating is up to the point where I can get whatever I need. But when you hit that boundary there, it's the next step that we're going to make, you know what I mean, to try and fix that. Because that's a breakage there, so you've got to try and mend that.
Yeah.
So the credit rating is always important to everybody out there that is going to do, whether they get involved in mortgages, businesses, credit cards,
it's life.
whatever. It's all about life. So once we know that if a credit rating at a certain level, we ain't going to get nothing unless you work hard to save that cash, which is going to be 10 times more harder.
But they do say you can't save your way to wealth. You see, so
You know what I mean? But you know, like when you get there, you're thinking, okay, how are you going to save 15 bags? It's hard to save 15 grand in the situation that we're in now, the predicament that we're in now.
Yes.
Because we don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of months, in the next 6 months, the next 8 months, or the next 10 months, the next year, maybe.
But this is why credit
but
in its own has been set up.
That's what I'm saying. So we have to build. So we know that, okay, there's a barrier there. How are we going to get across that barrier? We have to fix what we need to fix from there before we get through the next barrier. You understand?
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I always thinking, okay, I always want to be an entrepreneur. You know, I always want to be a businessman. What it's like, you know, to be able to sit down and be, okay, I've got 30 members of staff there, or 40 members of staff. I control this. This is mine. So whatever I do, I have to make sure I do it right, which is what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because I will say to Eri, I've been here a few times back in like 2016, 15. You know what I mean? And I never know that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a
I mean,
black man owned the club.
at that point, I didn't. But I think
no, but that's in general. You know what I mean? Like you never thought like, okay, a nice place like this. You know what I mean? Who could have been the owner for this place? In the back of our mind, we're thinking, okay, there's some big guys over there, or some big guys over there. People would think.
But it's one of us.
That is one of us.
Yeah.
You know? And when you say to somebody, okay, you know, I own that club, they will laugh at you.
Yeah.
Because
a lot of people don't believe it.
They think it's funny. They're thinking, oh yeah, nah, shut up, man. You trying bull like everybody else, talking about you own a nightclub. Show me some documents then. But when you show it to them, they're thinking, oh wow.
Yeah. And automatically, people turn from doubting you to wanting something. And that's the ironic thing about it. People go from the one extreme to the other
next
extreme.
And just like 0 to 100 in a second.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I feel very passionate about educating our youth, because I can only imagine, I mean, I'm 33 now, and I've really got into the club space at 29, 30. So it's been a very short time that I've actually been in the owner circle.
Yeah.
Right? But I think these things that we can tell the young guys at 18, 19, 20, can you imagine if you had good credit at 20 with the right mentor, what you would have achieved up to now?
Everyone after this, right?
And I think on that point, what I quite like about that is the fact that as black people, we feel like, oh, it's all about cash.
Mm-hmm.
And for a lot of people, if you don't have that cash, it stops you to even trying and moving forward. So, as Farai said, if you don't have the cash, you need to learn to utilize credit. And that way, you can actually get things in place and get moving.
Yeah.
But as it's also said, as long as you've got things in place like contracts, you're protected. So it's a thing of don't feel ashamed.
That you can subscribe to maybe something along the lines of $18.99 a month, and they have template documents that are on there. So you can actually take the template document and create your document, and yes, you might not be protected to the excess of a solicitor, but if you're looking to start out and you don't have that £2,000, why not? I mean, I've used, I think there's, I don't know if I can say the website I've used on this, but I've used, there's a website called Rocket Lawyer, and they have so many documents, different templates for different things. It doesn't matter what you're going through. Baby mama drama, they got it all. We all got it all. Okay, so you know, and so I think it's about information. And what would be great, and maybe this is an idea for Ragz2Riches, is maybe having a platform that allows people like myself who come onto the show to be able to give some advice. Now, I understand we can't give the advice to everybody, but maybe the most frequent asked questions, you know,
like
maybe top 10 questions, you know, and that might be something that helps you.
Yeah, definitely.
I think me and Eri have had in-depth conversations about how poor the careers advice is, you know, and I know for a fact where I stopped was when I had my careers advice, they gave me terrible advice to the point where I said, this school thing, I don't want to do this. Need it. You know, and then I got stuck into a little rut.
And you're getting advice from people that, again, no disrespect to anyone, unfortunately haven't run any businesses. So if I'm ambitious and I want to be an entrepreneur and a businessman, if I'm going to someone that's only ever been an advisor for careers, but they've never run a business themselves. There's only so many things that they're going to be able to tell me that are going to be of value to me as a businessman. So if I want to work, okay, that's fine. They can give me a certain amount of information to an extent, but let me say there's no real, okay, you can give career advice, but what about entrepreneur advisors? We don't really have them. So
No.
Yeah, I think that's where mentors also comes in.
But then it's good to have a mentor, you know, as what Farai is saying, you know what I mean? Like, even Ragz2Riches, you know what I mean? They got a mentor, you know, as what I said.
Someone in your field.
Yeah, so from my point of view, basically, Eri and like even Everett, you know what I mean? They're like two youths that you know, basically they give me good advice at all times. You know what I mean? We can sit down, we talk about life.
Yeah.
You know, where we're gonna go next, what's the next step, what's the next move. But as what I was saying, you bring certain people around you that kind of drain all that sort of energy, that positivity that you got and where you want to go, because he's trying to say something and then they're going to say, okay, you can't do that, why can't we do that? You know what I mean? So
you can do anything.
You can do anything that we want to do, you know?
You can put your mind.
As an owner for 2 nightclubs, you know, an entrepreneur, businessman, you know, like, is there any other projects that you got like in mind, like?
Have we got enough time for this?
just name a few.
Okay,
just name a few. Because I know, you know what I mean. I can see that, you know what I mean. You're quite an educated person, you know. Much respect to that, and I really appreciate you taking time.
I think
so.
The exciting space that I'm into right now, and it's only a stage of my life that I am at right now. I'm at a stage where I'm building assets. I want to accrue passive income. So I've got into the property space. I've been very aggressive in the last...
That's a big move there, right there. That's
so I've
top
been...
move right there.
It's hard. Very hard. But if I can do it...
We're all trying to get into it.
I can do it. You know. And I think, actually, that you've said about the property, that I've said about the property space, I don't think people understand how easy it is to acquire a property. I mean,
for investment as well.
Not even for investment, even living. You know, when you look at it, one is paying, let's call it £1,000 to live where they live a month. Just a few weeks ago, I think the government released a 5% deposit scheme, and I was looking at some flats the other day. And I even told a few of my friends, you can own a property, a share of a property, for as little as £1,688.
Yeah,
but you need good credit.
Yeah, because I even spoke, because even me, I'm sort of a property man myself. You know what I mean? I'm building a nice property back in Jamaica because that's my sort of thing. I always think about that. So last night, my friend said to me, he said, brother, if you get £1 million now, what would you do with £1 million? I said, okay. I took a second because I had to take a breather because, you know what I mean? Some people thinking, oh yeah, £1 million is not a lot. But if you know how to chop that £1 million up and put into some good investment and turn it into something good, that £1 million turn into 10 million, 5 million, even more. So he said to me, so brother, if you get £1 million tomorrow, what would you do? I said, okay, brother, listen, for me, I will take that £1 million, I will leave it in the bank for a month because I want to think about what I need to do. But first and foremost, while that money is there waiting, I will make my first step to the estate agent. I will require to look at a couple of properties because that's the first investment I want to make with my money. I don't know about anybody else, but if I can get equivalent property for 400,000 or 500,000, I'm happy there. You can pay a mortgage, or say you buy cash. Say for instance, you buy cash. You can rent one room out for £600. Yeah, to a good friend.
Money. And the thing is, I think what Farai is saying, which a lot of people don't understand, is the fact that you don't need to have £1 million to get into properties. He just said to you, get a percentage of a property, and it can be as little as how much you say?
1,688.
And I know a lot of people have that. I mean, you spend that on holidays, you spend that on clothes.
Easy.
You spend that on alcohol.
People say,
you know.
The thing is, it's like, so what would you rather? Keep renting and not own anything, or pay a percentage and at least own something, have some equity in something?
Because I want to get a house in it. Like, honest to God, because I'm paying £700 for a flat. That £700 could go into a mortgage. Obviously, my credit is a bit.
It's that money.
My credit is.
Yeah.
So the bank will give me what I need. So in order for me to do that, it's to rebuild.
Yeah.
And it's something that I want to do, so I have to do it. As what
And
you
it's
said. I'm
so
the same age as
simple.
you. I'm
This is
33.
the amazing thing. It's
But look
so
at the difference.
simple.
I'm 33, and look at the level that you're on from what I'm on. You know.
But then I've also been fortunate enough to come across mentors that have guided me through this path.
You know what I mean? But obviously, you know, at the same time, like I didn't have really like all this business mentality, all this sort of stuff in my head. I've just known that okay, I came from Jamaica. You know, I'm a good salesperson, and that was it.
Yeah.
Until a year ago, I'm thinking, like, you know what I mean? Like, come on.
I'm making
It
money
was
for someone
stronger than
else.
that. Yeah, it was stronger than that. I could do much more.
And
You know?
it's easy, and the thing is what people need to understand as well is, it's for us saying, it's easy to get the property, and that is true to an extent, but the difficult thing is to actually get up and research these things. Because the information is out there, but a lot of people just don't want to get the knowledge that they require. So I feel like, as much as you're saying, it's easy for you to do so, you also have to go put in a bit of research yourself.
Yeah.
But it is achievable. You don't need a lot of money to get a property.
Yeah.
You can get a property for less, but you're going to have to do a bit of research into how to do it.
So my brother, Farai, so what sort of experience, like, you know, like towards hate, you know, like say for instance, when you own your first nightclub, yeah, and you say to a couple of your friends, okay, my brother, all right, you know what, just signed all the papers, you know, Monday my lawyer said, okay, we're going to go collect the keys. What sort of energy what sort of feedback, what sort of vibes did they give to you? Because I know everything that we do, there's always one bad apple in the bunch. I know, you know what I mean? There's always friends around us when we got nothing, but when you have something, what changes?
I believe, and well, my dad said something to me when I was about 15 years old, and he said to me, you need to know who are your friends, who are your drinking buddies, and who are people you just meet out at the park and play football. And I didn't understand that until maybe 3 years ago. Now, I've been fortunate enough that I have a very good group of friends. You know, we have a very healthy rivalry.
Yeah.
Right? The competition is very healthy. We always like to... Yeah, we like to keep each other up, you know, and we always try and push the boundaries.
Basically, as well, yeah.
So I've been fortunate in that particular aspect of it. However, I think where, for me as a businessman, it maybe particularly hurts, and maybe I'm getting into my emotions about this, is the idea that we don't circle money in our communities. And I think that is the biggest hate.
So how will we, to all the viewers out there, you know what I mean, like this is something that, you know, we always talk about. As youths, we sit there every day, you know what I mean, we sit down, we cook, we eat, we drink, we talk about this. Why we're not generating money in, you know what I mean, in our communities. And what sort of advice would you, you know, give everybody out there to do something like that, you know, because we're all from different countries, we're all from different walks of life. So everywhere.
Yeah, what do you think the solution?
Yeah,
what do you think
what's
the
the
solution
solution?
for us to keep the money circulating within our community?
In our communities and stuff, to keep everybody, you know, on a level that we say, okay, we're not just basic minorities.
Can I start it off? Can I give my first thing that I'd offer? And then
Yeah, of course.
I think my first thing is we need more owners. So you can only keep the money in the community for so long, but if you have to go to a lawyer that's outside of your community, the money's gone. If you go to a doctor outside the community, the money's gone. If, for example, I go to a bar, I'm in a club, and it's not owned by someone of my race, that's money gone out of the community. So my thing, again, you carry on after, but my thing I'd say to start off with is we need a lot more black owners. So then
Black entrepreneurs.
there's a lot more businesses for us to be able to circulate the money. But, so what do you think on top of that is needed for the solution?
I think you've probably touched on the majority of it, but I think it's actually practicing it, you know? And I think recently we've seen a lot of things on Facebook where people will send you a message and ask you to like a page. It doesn't cost a thing. Why are you not liking the page of somebody you've gone to school with?
Yeah.
Why are you not sharing your friend's page?
Yeah.
I've got into a space now where I try and always purchase in a local surrounding. So I always try and support whatever, because community changes from where you go to. So whatever my community is, I always try and support it, you know? I mean, I've had an incident where I wanted to order this particular top I wanted to order a top in TK Maxx. And on my Snapchat, a friend of mine popped up saying he was doing hoodies, right? And I thought to myself, this £40 going to TK. Phone, and I rang my friend and I said, look, I'll order 2 of them tops.
Yeah. We need a bit more of that.
And we do need to, I believe we do need to take the ownership of promoting businesses, and not just by just saying things.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I have a bar here. I had a lot of people I knew who never came and spent £5 here.
True.
The moment the bar got really popular, when there was lovely ladies, guess what? Everyone wants to be your friend now. You know? And, you know, my heart is I won't throw you out because I want to teach you that this is what you have done wrong.
Yeah.
So I will not throw one out because of that. I'll still welcome you with open arms and say, next time, you need to do things a little bit differently. So I think to the youth out there, yes, we love Gucci, we love this, we love that. We love all those things. We really do. But do you know what? Your guy that's out there, going to maybe Cavaliers in Reading, printing some tops out, selling them, you need to support that guy.
Support Ragz2Riches.
And that's why we're here.
What is this brand? You see, come on.
Yeah, what's that brand called?
Ragz2Riches people, come on.
Yeah.
I think what we'll do
BPY,
is maybe if it's okay with you,
We'll
put a link on the bottom of there.
Yeah. BPY.
Yeah. Sorry, I want to ask you something as well. So, being a club owner, I know it's been probably the toughest time for you. Toughest time for you guys in particular out of a lot of businesses. So, how's pandemic? 2 questions. Sorry. Yeah. So, how's pandemic affected you being a bar and a nightclub owner? And what do you think the government could have done better to assist you as a club owner, and obviously other club owners in that one? So, what do you think they could have done better to help you up until this period? And moving forward, what do you think that they can do to help you?
Okay.
Take your time. Let
that one sink in, man. Let that one sink in a minute.
Spice it up.
I am an optimist. Right, so optimist. Yep, I am an optimist. What I'd like to say is, the obvious thing is, business, we're struggling. You know, we're fortunate enough that we've made it this far, and hopefully we can make it out of this. You know, I think there's also lessons to be learned. When businesses make money, and this is something that young people should really take notice. When you start your businesses and you run your businesses, before you go buy that Mercedes or that BMW or that whatever it is, right? You must always have a rainy day fund.
Yeah.
Because there's so many external influences to business, you know. You need to be able in a space where if things go wrong, you can pump up your business and just keep it level while you work through it. I think the second part of your question.
Let me ask you again. I know you said that. So the government. So up until this period, actually, let's make it positive and negative because it's a positive podcast. So
bring both of it in.
What have the government done that you say has positively affected you and helped you, and also what could they do moving forward to help nightclub owners?
I think for me personally, as an individual, right, as a bar owner, individual, yes, they've done some things that have helped. I think the biggest help that they've given is probably helping the employees, you know, the furlough schemes, and also, you know, the loans, the bounce back loans. I mean, it's helped. We still have to pay back these loans, but, you know, it is helped. So for me, I can't say anything negative in terms of the support packages
Yeah.
that they've given. I understand that there are some businesses that have suffered and haven't
lot,
faced
quite a lot, yeah.
and haven't had that particular assistance. But from my own personal perspective, and I know people in other countries who run businesses who don't have the support of their local government. So, to be honest, I think on this time, Rishi did do his job.
Okay, so there's always room for improvement in anything. So what do you think they could do better moving forward? Because as you see, we're probably going to be in this for a little while longer, having seen that they're banning the flights until September. So unfortunately, we're going to be in this for a little while longer. So they've just been given a considerable amount of money for this next stimulus. So with that stimulus, ideally, what do you think that the government can do to help you moving forward? Not just you specifically, but think of club owners in general across the whole of the UK. What do you think? What would you ideally want them to do to help you guys moving forward?
I think they need to stick to the decisions that they make. The problems that we had last year as the hospitality trade was we had to do so many changes, which cost a lot of money to get those changes done. For then the government to then come and shut down.
Yeah.
And I understand that those things had to happen, and I completely, life is more important than anything. I'm 100% down. But I think maybe just the decision making could have been a bit better. We were closed, we were open. We were closed, we were open.
Because that's what I always think, like, obviously I work in retail. So for me as well, it's not amazing to go back to work for a month and go back home for another 6 months.
Yeah.
Like, it's total pointless. Like, you know what I mean? Do one and let's get it done and out of the way. Because if they did do that at the first, then everybody would have been all right now. We would all been happy. But at the same time, there's still a lockdown. There's still COVID-19 out there. But then if you look outside, there's 100 people out in the park running around without a mask on their face. Like, there's nothing going on. Like, people are forgetting.
Too much black and white.
Yeah, you know what I mean? People are forgetting that, okay, I know, the government may talk a bit of bull sometimes, but if they say we should do this, why not just do it?
So you want them to stick to their decisions.
You know what I
I've
mean?
got a friend, he owns a bar in Datchet, Franco's in Datchet, Domenico, and he faced a similar thing to you. So when Boris first said, okay, things are going to open up, they went out and restocked. Obviously, it's a cocktail bar, so they also had to buy quite a lot of raw materials.
Yeah.
And then I think it was like a week, 2 weeks later, I think this is when we came here on the last night for gig. Boris is like, oh no, we're going to close it. So for him as a business, they spent a lot of money thinking, yeah, cool, we're going to get back to work, and then they shut it down, and you can't just go return those things back to your suppliers. So yeah, I totally agree.
Because it's a win-loss situation, isn't it? But at the end of the day, they don't care really what you're losing.
I think
They care a little bit.
I think they care, but I think as a big
organization.
Let's say the government as a big structure, it's very hard to cater for every single person's circumstances, because all the businesses operate in a different manner.
Yeah.
The problems that I have here in this business compared to my colleagues over there is completely different.
Yeah, totally
so
different.
I think they've done well. We could always sit here and criticize, right? But this is something that's never happened before in history, and we would love it for them to be like New Zealand. They should shut the borders instantly, maybe done a hard lockdown to start with, and maybe this would never drag on as long.
Yeah.
But then we're doing better than the rest of Europe. So you have to give credit where credit is due. Yeah,
because even now, like, I've got, like, even myself, I didn't want to book a flight back home. Like, my cousin even, he booked his flight back home, and I said to him, like, what's the point of going home when we're going into the same predicament as we're here now?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're going there to spend money, which we're not earning enough money now because you're getting 70%, which they take another 10% off. And then they're still taxing at 70%. So where do they expect humanity to be within the next 5 to 10 years? Because if you ain't got a plan, as what you said, or if you ain't got something concrete and cement to build yourself from now. Next 5-10 years, we're all lost. You know what I mean? We're all basically sitting ducks with nothing. All the ideas are gone. All our thoughts are gone with life. Everything that we thought that we know is gone. You know what I mean? And it will happen.
But I think also this is where, particularly maybe this episode of Ragz2Riches might come into its own. You know, what we're basically saying to the young people out there is, go out and try your dreams. Be the master of your own destiny.
Get up and go
you
now.
know, you can't sit there and wait for someone else. You know, and I know we have problems. I know we have race problems and all sorts of. Like, we have loads of problems, but there's still ways to work around those. And yes, things shouldn't be the way they should be.
Yeah.
But you can't stop and complain about it. You just have to go through it. Because if I can do it and I'm facing the same problems, and I'm an immigrant, all right? Then what's your excuse?
There's too much excuses.
Yeah. We find too much
There's too much people now that have come from a situation where we say, okay, poverty, and this is why it's lovely that we're rags to riches. But people have really come from rags to riches, so you can't use that excuse. So what I like about you as a person and your character is that the fact that you face hardships, but you don't just dwell on that. You actually think, okay, this has happened, but it's an opportunity for me to now
stop there. Go on.
Do something else. So, for example, and I want you just to let the viewers know, Spin, you've got some works going on there, haven't you?
Yes.
So you've seen, okay, we're facing these problems, but Boris has said we're going to open up from this time, so I'm going to invest this money so that my business can flourish coming out of it.
Yeah.
So, for example, can you tell us some of the things that you're actually looking to do at Spin that may actually bring in more business
and benefit you as well?
I mean, we are the previous lockdown 1. After lockdown 1, we spent just under 50 grand on redoing the inside and just fixing things that were not right with the building.
Yeah.
For opening on the April the 12th. We're redoing our outside completely, decking it, ratting furniture, making it a place that anyone is comfortable enough. Because I think, just to go off on a side note a little bit, when we say support our communities, right, and support people around you, yes, we really want you to do that, but the people being supported must be A1. You must be professional in everything you do. Because there's no point I'm going to support you and then you give me a terrible service. It's just not going to work. So I think for us, we've decided to spend the money and do it because we want people to know that we're here. We want to give you an experience.
So what are some of the features that you're going to have now at Spin, for example, on the outside of things that are different to what you had before? So I think you said about shisha.
We're doing shisha. We're doing shisha. Actually, we're going to be doing some really good food, and we're going to have brunches. We're going to be doing brunches. Well, we're finalizing our menu, but it's mostly going to be tapas style food, and then we're looking at not quite yet, but we're looking at maybe doing an already in the big.
As well, what's going to be nice is there are going to be some bottomless brunches. I think I remember you saying
yes.
So we're going to have some nice bottomless,
and we're doing it differently. So it's not just going to be. It's not just going to be prosecco alone. You know, we're going to be doing cocktails.
I just wanted to ask Brian real quick, just for the viewers. You were saying about credit earlier. Can you just tell us some of the things you did personally just to improve your credit, and just tell some of the viewers what they can do, or things that do improve credit? Just if you can do it, just some of the things that improve credit, just in general, just so people on our level can know. You know.
I think the amazing thing about credit is it's the most simplest thing to fix, and I understand people might say, "What? It's so simple." It really is. You know. You can go on a ClearScore. I think that's a free credit site. You can subscribe to Experian.
I'm on Experian.
Yeah, and the beauty of it is you can't fix something if you don't know what the problem is. You see, So by going on Experian, looking at your credit and knowing that this is what's wrong, that's what's wrong. And I'm not just saying Experian alone. I'm just using what I've used. Okay? I think there's like Noodle or something like that. There's different things. So I think downloading a copy of your credit report, actually sitting there and looking what's actually wrong. And the beauty with Experian, and I'm only talking because I use Experian quite a lot, they actually tell you the things that impact your credit score.
Yeah.
So every month when you go to work, you can actually say, okay, do you know what? I got this on there. I need to fix this. So this month I fix that. Next month I fix this. It can take, as little as 3 months to 6 months to build up a decent enough score.
Yeah.
The trick is there isn't just one credit score, one credit company. So I think sometimes when you get your Experian up to a certain point, you need to look at other credit searches. There's Equifax and stuff like that. So your Experian credit score might be high, but your Equifax might be low. So you then need to go, okay, Experian, boom. And then you go to the Equifax, you work on the Equifax, and eventually when you go to the bank and you say, hey, Mr. Bank Manager, this is what I want, or Mrs. Bank Manager, this is what I want, right? They will say to you, okay, well, we've come through on a check, and on our Equifax, everything is...
I've got something to add in that one as well. So I use Experian. Again, you can subscribe to it. So I think it's $14.99.
A month.
It's not really a lot of money when you think.
I got mine for free.
You get a free one.
He used to give you the plug.
It gives you like an in-depth. So it's very in-depth for the $14.99 one. So with what you can get for having a better credit rating, that $14.99 is well spent. So for example, the first thing that everyone can do, and this will give you at least 50 points with increase, is your electoral roll. So if you're actually registered at your address and you're on the electoral roll, that will instantly boost up your score. Second thing, paying things on time. So as long as you keep up with your payments, that also boosts your credit rating. Third thing that did really well for myself is the amount of credit that you actually utilize. So for example, if you have a credit card and you have a £10,000 limit on it, if you stay below 10% of that, so if you only use £1,000, for example, that will also boost your credit rating, and that's because credit providers will see that you're not dependent solely on credit. But as I said, the best thing is get with a credit company. Even if you have to pay for a subscription, do so because it will pay off for you in the long run.
So I've got something to base on that one as well, because I never even know that. And it's when I spoke to the bank, because obviously I said I want to get a mortgage and stuff. So when I spoke to the bank, I said, look, this is what I'm going to, this is what I want to do. But then they turned to me and they said, each time you go in your overdraft, it chops the deficit even higher than what people think. So we sit there thinking, oh yeah, I've got £200 overdraft. Let me jump in there quickly. So the bank, the person I was talking to on the phone, she said to me, look, even if you go £5 over your credit, your overdraft, it affects you. So the bank will take another 2 to 3 years for them to verify you, for them to think that you're ready for it, because they notice that you can't handle your basic wages that is coming in, because every month you keep going £10 under. So that's what I'm saying to everybody out there, all the viewers, everybody. This is something that you should take heed in. If you got an overdraft, please keep it at that level. Even if you got 1 penny in the account, leave it there. Do not go under it, because that's a big effect on everybody's life. We sit here thinking every day that we're doing something right because the money's there, so we're going to spend it because you're getting paid at the end of the month, so it's going to go back. No, it affects it. So that's what I'm saying. Respect for life for that. That was very, very good. So I want to say thanks to everybody for coming out today. Much respect. My name is King James Unruly. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go subscribe, people. Go subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Don't miss another one. Okay? Subscribe to Ragz2Riches TV podcast. And you don't know, people, I want you to go and check out online www.gighouse, Wokingham, Spin Bar in Andover. Go check it out, people. We got takeaways every day as well. We're open. Come and check it out. Come and show some love. Come show some support to our own people, because that's where we're at now, And I just want to say thanks to everyone. I want to say thanks to Eri for coming out. He's a good friend of mine. I'll say for myself, I'll class him as an entrepreneur because he's that sort of person. Very intelligent guy, people, you know what I mean? So I want you to go over to his Instagram, go and, you know what I mean, follow him as well. You know, if you want anything that you want to ask, you can always message. You know, tell us what you want to know, guys, you know, and I also want to say respect for everybody that's watching out there. Respect for everyone that turned up today. Much love, much respect. Bless.
Thank you.